What's going on, all you gamers? If you want to see what I think is a really good build and a very nice throwback to Gears of War as such, then stay tuned. That's coming up next.
Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. Whee.
Welcome back, all you guys and girls. So here we are in the snowy wastelands again, and today I'm going to bring you my take on what I think is kind of a really nice overall build, and a very good one if you're into Gears of War. So here we have the man of the hour, this guy right here, very inventively called Cog. Now this build is all about doing suppressive damage, helping out your team, but also being able to do a really big area effect. I honestly think this goes so well with Gears of War that is unbelievable. I've been trying to make a build like this work for a little while. It's been a bit of a tester, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted it to have an assault rifle, and I wanted it to have the Lancer, because the Lancer's pretty much one of the better assault rifles, but not the best, unfortunately. But a lot of people are using it at the moment because it is kind of a nice kind of throwback to Gears of War as such, and it is still a really nice gun. Plus the looks of it, it looks amazing. Look at that gun. It'd be even better if the chainsaw worked, but it doesn't, unfortunately. Right, so what does this character actually involve? Well, first off, I'll go through his weapons, and obviously, like I said, it's the Lancer, and the Lancer, unfortunately, is a damage times 3, and it is not, I cannot for the life of me make this the hardest hitting gun in the game. It never is going to be. It's going to be more about mopping up kills and doing overall kind of suppressive damage as such, and obviously we're trying to get a bit of precision strike out of it, because that does really help the team. Now, I don't know if you know this, because I don't think it's actually stated anywhere unless I'm missing it, but the Lancer goes off of explosive damage. I've been testing a lot of things out. I thought it was fire damage, but it's not, it's explosive damage, and that's what boosts it up. So what we've done for this character is, if you have a little look over here, we've put his quirk as Pyromaniac. So it gets explosive damage 25%, and just down the bottom here, Exploder Maniac, 15% explosive damage as well. So that's 40%. It's quite a big chunk, to be perfectly honest. Without this, the Lancer, how can I put this? It hits like a wet paper towel. It's not the best. I love the looks of this gun, I really do. It's very hard to put into a build. Very hard to put into a build that works. This build works, this build's really good. I would keep this character in my team, definitely. So I'll go over the stats quickly, and what I've put on coordination maxed, and the reason I've put this up here is because you can get your character to 12 AP, so he can shoot 3 times. Now obviously if you wanted to, you could have it a little bit lower, because like I said, he's not going to be the biggest damage guy in the world, but he does do a lot of killing through picking up kills. Now luck, I've chucked that on there just for 1, but to be perfectly honest, if you wanted to put it up, you could. I probably wouldn't, not with this type of build. Awareness I've maxed out, just because I want him to basically have a little bit of extra damage, and to basically make sure he's got that hit chance, which is the main thing. Strength, this guy's a cog. If you've seen Gears of War, they take, and unless it's a Carmine, they take a lot of damage. They take a lot of damage. So put your strength all the way up. This guy's going to be a tanky little mopper upper. Speed, I haven't put anything into. Charisma, I would like to get higher. I would definitely like to get higher, because what I tend to do with this guy is to make sure he gets his special move quite a lot, and that way he can just help out by actually kind of turning the robots against each other. That's really good, and also knocking down their armor value. That's a real good thing for this guy. Even with his special, if you're trying to do crits and such, it's not going to work with this build. If you wanted it to, then what you would do, you would either chuck a little bit out of strength, or maybe take some out of awareness, because it doesn't make that much of a difference. I'm just putting that on for the hit chance more than anything, and put probably more in intelligence to get its critical damage up. But that's not the build I was going for. So that's pretty much his overall stats, and this is a mid-game build. I'd probably say it's about halfway through, or maybe a tiny bit over that, to be perfectly honest. And if I go back to the inventory, you can also see that over here I've got the Nukazuka, and you'll probably think that's a really weird thing to have, but honestly it makes the whole build work, and it makes it work really, really well. So over here I've put power armor helmet, because like I said, I want him to be tanky. He's got status effect resist as well, which is great. Power armor chest piece, again very tanky. And I lost the legs. I have no idea what I've done on this save, but somehow I've misplaced the legs. So if you've got the power armor legs, chuck them on. If you haven't, put something that's tanky on. If you're earlier game, the reason I've put these here is kind of a placeholder. I would say put on your tank gear. Anything to put up your armor value and to make yourself a little bit harder to kill. Now just down here I've put on the anabolic injector, because like I said, I was trying to get to that 12 AP mark just so he can move around the field a little bit, and if he's not moving he'll have the range and he'll be able to hit usually 3 people or shoot 3 times. Over here I've got frag grenades. Let's face it, anyone who's played Gears of War, you like chucking out frags. Over here I've got a suture kit, and that is just because every once in a while, because you're using explosive, you may set yourself on fire a little bit. Don't worry, suture yourself up, it doesn't happen all the time. If it does, just use this. And again, the med hypo. I always like it, just having a med just as a little bit of backup, just in case things hit the fan. Now with the Nukazuka, I'm not going to lie, put on whatever you want to up the damage. It won't matter too much, this will do the job. Just over here, if I show you what I have got on, I've got a barrel that ups the damage a little bit. Obviously if you've got the +8 damage, which I didn't have on this save file, chuck that one on. The scope, you are gonna want to get as much range as possible. Under barrel, I've gone for hit chance. If you feel like you're hitting enough, then go for crit. But like I said, this is not going to be the be all and end all for damage builds. But we have got a way around that. Now over here, magazine size +4. I like this. If you wanted to, you could come over here, if I find it anywhere, and chuck on the quick fire mag if you wanted this guy to get an extra kind of shot off. I've got to admit, I wouldn't bother with this character. I think it's a waste of the mag. I wouldn't use it on this build. I would use it on the one I'm going to show in a couple of days time, as it will absolutely destroy things. But for this, that will be the kind of damage build you're after. So 110 roughly, damage times 3, AP 4, clip size 29, and if you have a look at the rest, it's not too bad at all. Obviously it's not going to do the highest damage with the crits. We've not really gone for much crit at all, hence the 2% crit chance. But like I said, if you wanted to spec out of awareness, or you wanted to spec out of something else and put a little bit of your intelligence up to get that crit, that's entirely up to you. Now the skills you'll be after will be automatic weapons 10, you're going to need that for the Lancer, you're going to want that, it's going to give you the hit chance. Explosives, chuck that all the way up to 10 as well. And your first aid, you can either make this guy your first aider or just chuck it into 1 just so that you have enough to use the suture kit. If it was me, I would chuck it just to 1 and then the rest of the skill points put into something else you need, any of the non-combat skills. So say sneaky stuff, weird science, probably not armor modding, stay clear of that, mechanics, nerd stuff, whatever you're lacking on your team. As you get later into the game, start putting him into that. Now for the perks, what I have done here is basically give yourself the quick slots, because you're going to need that. Then you're going to need the armor +2, the conditioning +35, so obviously a bit more health. I'd probably say once you get later on, you're going to want all of these. You want your guy to be as tanky as possible, pick up all of these. That's basically the way forward. For your automatic weapons, you're going to want these ones first that I've highlighted, and then obviously if you can pick it up, chuck on this first one as well. Now just down here, and this is the bit that I wanted to get to because this is the fun part. Mortar blast, and over here blast radius, and of course high impact. These three are what you're going to want to put on your build, and I'll explain why. Obviously if you can pick up first aid at a later date, go for it. Now like I said, this is the Gears of War part. So as you look, he kind of looks a little bit coggy. I'm not going to lie, he looks a bit Gears of War. I like it, I think it works, the aesthetics are really good. You've got the Lancer. The Lancer is there for doing the precision strike damage, so like I said earlier, for getting up your kind of special skill and using that on your enemies. But then you've got this as well, so your mop up kills with that. You'll get a nice bit of grenade damage off, or frag grenade damage if you want to stay in roleplay as such. And then over here, the Nukazuka, or as I like to call it, the Hammer of Dawn. It works really, really well in this build. What you'll tend to do, you'll go in, you'll aggro them with the sniper, you will then set up your mortar blast in a vicinity around yourself, not too close. For some reason in this game, the actual explosion size can tend to differ from the green symbol that's shown. So be careful and put it slightly further out than you think, just so that you don't wipe any of your squad. But the next round, it's as if you're calling in a kind of Hammer of Dawn or such, and everything falls over. Everything. Dogs, frogs, big guys, tanks, Scorpitrons, whatever it is, if you've kitted this out right, it's probably going to fall over. And even if it doesn't, it's not going to have much health left for the rest of your team to wipe out, or for you to kill it yourself by switching straight to your Lancer and doing those 3 shots. I would definitely use this guy probably as the kind of leader of your group. He's there to basically make sure that everyone's safe. If you can put his charisma all the way up, that would be even better for the rest of your group. But if you can't, don't worry, just get a fair amount so that you can do your skills more often. But yeah, this is my take on a Gears of War build, and I really, really enjoyed it. I couldn't, however, make this the highest damage one for hitting with the assault rifle, unfortunately. But then again, I honestly believe that assault rifles kind of need a buff in this game. The only one that does a little bit of damage in this game is probably Daisy's rifle, which I still haven't been able to get off of her without killing her. So it's not really something you want to do. And that's the only really good assault rifle in the game that I have found. If I'm wrong and you've made an absolutely devastating assault rifle build that rivals that of, say, an SMG or shotgun, then let me know. But in my playtesting, I have never been able to make one anywhere near that type of damage. Right guys and girls, I hope you've enjoyed this. I am going to leave a little bit of footage to show you basically the playstyle of this kind of character. And as always, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, then why not hit that like button, as that really helps the channel out. And why not drop a sub and hit the bell notification for further content from me for all the latest and greatest Xbox and soon Xbox Series X content. As always guys and girls, take care. I'll see you all next day.